Hello and welcome to the podcast. Today, I want us to today I want to give you guys updates on a series of trainings that initially was advertised for the 12th of January until the 23rd of January 2026. But the start details got pushed back by 1 week, so we're going to be starting on January the 19th, and it's going to run until about the 30th or so, or 31st. I can't remember. It's a 10-day training. So I'm going to give you some updates about that. And then, most importantly, I'm going to give you guys reasons why you shouldn't give money to people that you do not trust. Because in talking to people who want to be a part of this program, you remember that when we're advertising it online and when I started talking about it seriously on the podcast, I made a big deal about saying I want to be in touch with every single person personally before I collect your money. Because, yes, I want to make money, but I'm not a charlatan. Now, the whole point of the interview stage was to make sure that not only do I know who you are and what you're trying to achieve with the training, I want to be able to be sure and have full confidence that if we collected your money, that's me and my partners, would be able to deliver and make sure that at the end of the day, you will find some business growth, some sales growth with the things that we discuss during the training. And of course, some of you have been listening to the podcast for months, maybe even years. I saw some of you trust me. That's not a big deal. But there are some people who are just discovering me for the first time. And for some of them, that trust step was a little bit too steep. Now, most other sales trainers will start giving you techniques and tips and tricks if you're in this situation on what to do, on how to get that person to pay the money, how to overcome that trust deficit. But if you're learning from me, there is no such thing as overcoming a trust deficit. When people don't trust you because they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, they don't, whatever, there is a deficit that has to be dealt with. And if you come up with some smooth talking things, you talk somebody through, you bamboozle the person, you wind them, you collect the money, you'll be creating problems for yourself in the future. In the wedding photography space, it's a problem that I ran into um, early on, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this as well. I remember talking to couples and getting this sense in the pit of my belly that this girl, she claims that she likes my style, but I'm suspecting she likes a different style of photography. In fact, it was this particular babe who's based in KD in Kaduna. We finished talking based on the things she was saying and based on the things that she was showing me. I knew that this girl thinks she likes my style of photography, but actually, she prefers something else. But back then, I was younger and I was broke and I was naive. So I collected the money. We went to KD, went to Kaduna. After everything, Omo, Yawa gas, there was quarrel up and down. I made a judgment call and I made the wrong call. If you've been in this situation before, then you know exactly what it is that I'm saying. This is one of the reasons why, if you're stuck in this kind of situation and it becomes clear that really the person doesn't trust you or the person doesn't think you can deliver on the results, then it is not by force, by fire, it is not do or die. My own opinion, don't risk it, don't collect that money and risk that quarrel will start later on. Because even if there's a shred of doubt, even if the person has one small iota of doubt in you, in your capabilities, in what you preach, what you teach, and you collect that money, it is going to affect outcomes. So there are some people that I was talking to that I had to tell them up front that, look, you know what? Yeah, I get it. There are lots of smooth talking guys over the internet. You don't know me from Jack. So therefore, You're afraid. You don't want to part with your money. It makes perfectly good sense. And my advice to you is don't. Don't part with your money because you don't know me, you don't trust me. Here's a link to my podcast. Keep on listening. The benefit of dealing with me is whether you give me money or not, you will always get value from me, either in the paid sessions or either from subscribing to the podcast. So I told her, don't. Here's a link to the podcast. Relax. Just be listening. If after a while you feel as if, okay, this guy is legit, we can move. If you never get to that point where you feel as if this guy is legit, then no problem, free it. But you can be learning here for free until you find somebody who you think is legit and can help you get to the promised land. Then you move. So I told her, nah, don't drop that money. In fact, when you're dealing with boys online, don't be dropping money if there's anything that is making you feel as if, there might be comma in the future. There might be question mark. So don't drop money. And this is my advice to you, those of you listening to this podcast. You like me, you like what I stand for, you like what I represent, you like the frameworks I talk about. But if you're talking to me on the phone or we see in person, and you're ever at that point where you're thinking, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure about this, let's talk about it, let's talk. But if by the time we talk, you're not convinced, it's not a problem. It's not do or die. Just let it go. You'll be all right. It's not as if you don't give me money on, I'm not your coach, I'm not your consultant. It's not as if, you miss out on your divine blessing. The one that is your own that will come to you. So don't worry. It's no big deal. Anyway, so yes, the program has been delayed by 1 week and we're going to start in 2 days on Monday, the 19th. By the time we're done, there's going to be another cohort. I'll let you guys know about that as time goes on. But I had this really interesting conversation with someone else who is a listener of the podcast, and he wanted to know if there were any guarantees that if he spends money on the training, is he going to get any guaranteed returns? If you drop money, is he going to make money back, and how much? And that's also another interesting conversation that I needed to have. Abi? Okay, forgive me. Present tense, past tense. Oh, but either way, I hope I've been able to stress the first point very clear. It's not just me. Whoever it is you're dealing with, you don't trust the person, do not drop that money. Don't. Only drop money when you trust the person and you think, okay, this guy is legit and this is the person that will help me get to the promised land. Speaking of the promised land, I had to tell this guy that, you know what? Yeah, it makes sense they're asking me this question. What are the guarantees? But then I had to tell him what I've told every single client that I've worked with, particularly people that I worked with in 2024, 2025, because that's why I started getting this guarantee question. I had to tell them, look, I can't guarantee you nothing. I repeat, and I'm saying it with my full chest, I cannot guarantee you nothing. Because whether you achieve results or not does not depend on me. It depends on you. You who is listening to the podcast right now, or you who is on the other end of the negotiating table. The results will depend on you. The best I can do is to tell you, okay, based on what we discussed so far, I understand that this is the situation. So these are my recommendations on what we need to move forward. And I will tell you, it'll be put in writing. And then I'll chase you. I'll follow you up. I'll call you die. I'll send you a message. I'll harass you. But if at the end of the day, you don't do what it is that you're supposed to do, what do you expect me to do? You want me to reach into your own phone and start making calls on your own behalf? I'll drive to your customers' places and start negotiating deals on your own behalf. That's not how it works. And believe me, even if you want me to do that, I'll be collecting serious money from you. If you want me to be making your own calls and be going for your own meetings, no problem. I even like that kind of work. Let's negotiate some serious money. But whether you are going to get results does not depend on me. It depends on you. And listen carefully. Um, it doesn't matter who it is you're talking to. Even if you're talking to Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins, it doesn't matter the wisdom that they spit. If you do not apply, if you do not execute, you will not get any returns on it. So, for those of you who are going to work with me in the future, because you listen to the podcast and you like my flow, that is going to be the answer to the question. Sorry, one moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to pause the recording a little and then change location. And that's because I'm making today's recording at home. For those of you who've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you're not surprised because you know that I just record this. I record the podcast on the go. And then, of course, it's weekend and, kids are home, wifey is home. So I had to change location, basically. Oh, by the way, my name is Tavershima Ayede. I'm the host of the podcast. I am a former lawyer turned business consultant. And if you like the sorts of things that we talk about over here on the show, sales, marketing ish, then subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, or any player of your choice. And if you'd love to connect with me, you can call, you can send me a text message, or you can send me a WhatsApp message. If you have any questions, any comments, any queries, or if you'd love for us to collaborate on any projects. So you can call on 08064662140. So before I ran off, I think I was telling you guys about how there's no guarantee because the guarantee is you. The best thing I can do is to ask you questions, try to figure out what the problem is, make an informed diagnosis, and then I make a prescription. So excuse me. And I tell you, this is what we need to do next. This is how I think we ought to go about it. Whether you do it is entirely up to you. So, when a certain person asked me what are the guarantees, I told him, look, there's no guarantees. The guarantees is you, but this is what we're going to do. I already let you know ahead of time what the curriculum for this 10-day training is going to be. So let's have a look at it. Let me know the particular places where you feel nervous, and then collect jointly. Let us decide on the areas that we will have to stress so that by the time we double down, bring you closer to revenue. The guy said, okay. I said, cool. When you okay to talk? The guy said, tomorrow, no problem. The time came, and then we spoke. And this is what I had sent the guy in December when we first started talking. So, of course, I told him that this was not a passive webinar because, you guys are used to webinars. Whether paid or free, you go and you sit down, somebody will bring out PowerPoint, you will watch PowerPoint, and then you end with something. Then they will now give all of you certificate. Nah. Nothing with me is passive. Be ready to work. I repeat, nothing with me is passive. Be ready to work. Let me say it one more time. Nothing with me is passive. Be ready to work. You have paid me money. I'll do my best according to my conscience. I'll tell you what needs to be done, and I'll chase you. But at the end of the day, I cannot pull the trigger for you. I cannot make the phone call for you. I cannot go and visit the chief for you. I cannot go and talk to your uncle for you. The rest is up to you. So the first module that I sent to the guy, what we're going to start discussing from the 19th of January up until the 31st, is we're going to try and remove mental roadblocks, psychological roadblocks when it comes to selling. Because Nigerians have too many bad ideas when it comes to sales. We believe as if, Nigerians are money conscious, they do their price, Nigerian people don't like value, Nigerian people are disrespectful, Nigerian people are rude, Nigerian people, they do like this and they do like that, blah, blah, blah. Now, the reason why we have to address all these psychological roadblocks is because they affect the way that we sell. And I've spoken about the sales rep of my former client who, in her heart of heart, she believed that 40 million naira is expensive and lots of people cannot pay for 40 million naira solar installations in their houses. Now, whether we like it or not, because yes, 40 million actually is quite a good chunk of change. We don't sell from our own perspective. It's not about us, it's about the other people, and it's about what they find valuable. And I tried my best, but unfortunately, I couldn't crack it into her skull and let her know that, yes, for you, let's call her Bingbe, that's not her real name. I wanted to crack her skull and tell her that Bingbe, for you and for me, yes, 40M is big money. Because if you give me 40M right now, yes, I will solve one or two things in my life. But there are some people that 40 million is not a problem. They will look at your proposal, they'll look at every. You will have the conversation. Okay, if I give you this 40M, you will guarantee me 24 hours worth of light. It will carry fridge, it will carry AC, it will carry iron, it will carry microwave, it will carry this. Then they will stroke you a check. Straight. It's not about you, huh? Me. I wanted to tell her, but she never got it. Being paid 40K, 40M is good money. You and I will smile. Well, if they give us 40M. But for some people, 40M is change. Or even if the 40M is plenty of money, still, it is money that they want to spend because they think that it is worth it. This is the way I explained it to my wife. When me and my when we had our firstborn, we the this thing that used to carry baby, this thing used to carry them on your back. I don't know what it's called. You know that strap, that sling. You know what that thing is called. Now we bought ours from mamas and papas in the UK. There are some people in Nigeria who there's this no, I say restaurant. What's it called? Pharmacy chain. H Medics. H Medics. They had this sling there that they were selling. I think they were selling for like 5K or 7.5. So that's what some people they are buying. Then there are some people who they will say, 7.5. What am I spending 7.5 for? That my mother used wrapper and she backed me. I will use wrapper. And yes, I've seen it. Even in 2026, there are people who still use wrapper to back their baby. In Abuja, I've seen it. Maybe in Lagos, people are more fashion conscious in Lagos, so they won't do that. But in Makudi, over the Christmas, I saw it, and in Abuja, I saw it. There are not many, but there are people who still use wrapper to back their children. So this is how I explained it to my wife. For some people, to spend that 5K or that 7.5 to buy something to back your baby is unheard of. It doesn't make sense. Is overpriced. Is like, what are you wasting money for? Not to now talk of people like me and my wife who bought our own from mamas and papas in UK, and we bought it in pounds. I don't want to say how much pounds it is that we spend because some of you will do the calculation and you now start thinking that me and Wiki are like 5 and 6 that we roll. Not be like that. First of all, it was a long time ago. Currency rate was different, and people value different things. We knew that it was expensive, but that's what we wanted. Mamas and papas. So for our firstborn, we kitted up nicely, mamas and papas. We even bought some stuff, baby gap. When you're having your first child now, the thing will be sweeting you. So I can't explain. When you're there, you understand. There's a way that your body will just be sweet, sweet, sweet. And so you spend on some things. So it's like that. I couldn't get Bingpe to understand. And some of us have too many hang-ups, and those hang-ups limit the way that we sell. So if you're like Bingpe and you think 40 million is big, Nigerians don't like quality. Nigerians, they do the price. It will affect how you sell solar and inverter systems that cost 20, 30, 40, 50 and above. So we need to get these mental things out of the way. Also, I was telling this guy now, okay, you know what? Since we're looking at close to revenue, let's ignore all this psychological stuff for now. So let's leave module 1 and let's move on to module 2. Now, module 2 is about lead management. For those of you who are regular listeners, you know that a lead is somebody who has done something objective, who has raised their hand, who has carried out one action or the other to show that they might be interested in our products or our services. When you see those people, follow them, address them, chase them. You're getting close to money. So I told this guy, you're nervous about making money from this training, right? So that means module 2, lead management. That is what we need to pay attention to. And so I asked the guy, What do you do for leads? How do you get leads? How do you get business people? How do you get potential customers to raise their hands? No matter what business it is that you do, you have to do something to get people to raise their hands to show that they might be interested. So for those of you who run neighborhood corner shop, like one of my neighbors, what she did was, as she was launching her shop, she went to go and print this. These people, POS people, those signs that they print. They just that has in bold, in red, POS here. She went to go and print those kind of banners. Uh, but for her, it was for her shop, coming soon, launching soon, blah 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 stores, so block, this that, so and so estate, and she put it at all the junctions in the estate. My estate is a small estate, but she put it on the junction so that as you're approaching your street, as you are turning, you see the signboard. You make the next turn, you see the signboard. You make another turn, you see the signboard. That's what she did. Now, people who see that signboard, some of them will drive to the store. She is getting people to do something objective, something that you can see, something that you can verify, something that is, you understand what I'm saying? That is called lead generation. Some people will see that signboard, but they won't go. But they will carry the WhatsApp number on the signboard. Then they will send WhatsApp message to the business line. That is lead generation. The person has done something on their own to show that they might be interested in your product, in your service. In this case, in this brand new shop that you're opening. We should all be doing lead generation for our businesses. So, before we even go to the whole thing of lead management just means all these people now that have showed their hand, they have come to the shop, they have entered your DM, they have sent you WhatsApp, they have sent you email, or whatever it is. How do you start this process? When do you call them up? When do you visit them? When do you reply to the email? When do you reply to, whatever? How do you start the conversation? How do you follow up? What's your cadence? How you going to follow them? Is it close marking? Is it every day? Is it every two days? Are you going to be giving them space? All these questions that we ask ourselves when we have customers and we're trying to close the sale. So I told the guy, before we get to lead management, how do you generate leads? The guy said, two ways, online and offline. By the way, that's pretty good. We should all be doing online and offline. So me, this podcast, what I'm doing, this is offline. Well, sorry, not offline, online. In a way, let's call this one online because the internet. So I told him, internet, online, social media. We won't discuss that now because lead generation on social media is medium to long term. It's not short term. There's nothing that you post today on Monday that will bring you business on Friday on social media. No. It takes a long time to generate know, like, and trust on social media. However, if you run an advertisement, yes, okay, that's a different thing. You can advertise today and start getting inquiries tomorrow. But social media on its own, organic social media, does not work in the short term. It is a medium to long term. So, in other words, all the good plans that you have for your Instagram account for 2026, all these wonderful ideas that you're trying to do, just give yourself 3 months, 6 months, 1 year before you start seeing results. Don't think there's something you post on February 1st and then February 7th, you're now making money. It doesn't work like that. So he told me that there are people that he talks to. I said, good. Now, for the people that you talk to, we're going to come up with a prospecting list. A prospecting list is just a list of people who might be interested in your product or your service so that you can approach them. So I told him, where's your prospecting list? He said, well, he doesn't have a list like that, but he has 3 people that he knows that if he talks to, business will come out of it. I said, good, we have 3 people. But I told him, you know what? In order for this thing to make sense, well, we can't do 3. Because the problem with 3 is this. Like Brian Tracy says, not everybody wants what you have. Not everybody needs what you have. Not everybody can afford what you have. I repeat, not everybody wants what you have. Not everybody needs what you have. Not everybody can afford what you have. If you only have 3 people on that list, it is possible that all 3 of them, they like it, but they don't get money. If they don't have money, then what are we doing? You can't squeeze blood out of a stone. You can't. Or can be that they're paid up, seriously paid up, but they think what you're selling, it's not important. In that case, there is nothing that you can do. So that is why, at the very least, I tell people 10. That list, I beg, let us see 10. Let us start with 10. Because you only have 3, and then you reach out the 3, and none of the 3 click. You now be demoralized, and then we're back at 0. But have 10. Any which way, at least we should get one person who is interested. So I told him, at least 10. He said, no problem. Then we started looking at other course modules that we're going to do in the training. That's from January 19th, on Monday. So there's a module on vocal authority, using your voice over the phone. I told him, let's ignore that one first. Then there's part of the module where we're going to do discovery. And discovery is how you ask people questions, how you handle the conversation. So you try and figure out who the person is, you try and figure out what the problems are, or you try and figure out the visions that they're trying to achieve. Because this guy, what he does is he does streetwear. And I told him, you don't just show up to somebody and then you start trying to sell them Ankara streetwear when you don't know who they are, when you don't know what's up. Now, for me, if you want to sell me Ankara streetwear, good. Because I like that kind of thing. But then there's some boys like, why would they be wearing Ankara? So you need to know who you are talking to. What do they want? What is their taste? What is their style? What are they trying to do? What are they trying to achieve with this garment? Is it father-in-law's 70th birthday anniversary? And so they're trying to show up, and cool, and everybody look cool. Or, I don't know. Is he a content creator and he wants to get, edgy streetwear so that he can look correct, in his videos or whatever. Anyway, don't mind me. I'm just trying to come up with different scenarios. But you get the point. You need to know who you're talking to, what it is that they like, what it is that they don't like, what they're trying to achieve, what they're trying to run away from, before you say Ankara streetwear is for you, or before you say cotton streetwear is for you, or before you say linen streetwear is for you, or before you say we will design it in black and purple, or orange and brown. So discovery, an important part. So for him, we agreed during the discovery module, we'll have to pay attention to that because it will help you to make an effective presentation or an effective proposal. Sometimes, in fact, most of the times, the reason why your proposal is not hitting is because you did not do discovery. There's somebody that I'm talking to based in the East. They sell household electronics. And there's one of their salespeople who believes that thermocool is the best kind of fridge. So if you come in there, the person will walk up to you, and as far as that person is concerned, thermocool is the best fridge. They will try and sell you thermocool. You might make a very, very beautiful presentation about why thermocool is the best fridge to buy. But if you didn't ask the person what is their budget, what they want, what they need it for, where they live, do they have inverter, a busy generator, or is it NEPA, or what are they trying to achieve? How do you know that you're making the right proposal? How do you know that you're making the right proposal, that people are hearing you, that your proposal or your presentation is effective? You might think thermocool is the best fridge, but there are some people that for them, Panasonic is the ultimate. In that case, you can waste 45 minutes talking about thermocool, but meanwhile, it is entering one ear and going out the other because you didn't ask this woman from the beginning to even know that what she loves is Panasonic. So therefore, you should have been showing her Panasonic fridge and deep freezer from the beginning. You are wasting your time talking about thermocool. Discovery is key. So, for this guy, yeah, we agreed. We're going to do some discovery work. Then, okay, let's skip all the other modules. Then the final module is commitment and control. Commitment, basically, is getting people to commit. Sorry, forgive me. My father would have knocked me on the head if he was alive, because my father told me never make a circular definition. And I said, Dad, what is a circular definition? And he said, the circular definition is when you try and define a word by using the word itself. And in this case, I said commitment is when you're trying to get people to commit. So forgive me. All right, so commitment. How will I say now? Okay, that's the stage in the business relationship, in the conversation, where you're trying to get somebody to take the next step, no matter how big or no matter how small. Once they take a small step, bam, they have committed. So those of us who are married now, remember those relationship days. Remember one day when I was overwhelmed by love and I told my wife that she should marry me. She said, oh boy, you're not serious. I said, what do you mean you're not serious? She said, where's the ring? I said, which kind of ring? Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm ready. I want to go and see your people. She said, when you're serious, you get a ring and then you will come back. No one got squirrel. Oh. Because in my own mind, the one that is important is let me see your people. When I see your people, then yes, we're making progress. But she said there must be ring. Anyway, where was I? So if you say, will you marry me? And she say yes, she don't commit. It's like that. Or before you get to the level of will you marry me? If you say, oh, that I'm having fun so far, I'd like to hang out with you more. I hope you like hanging out with me too. If she says yes, I like hanging out with you, good. She don't commit. Small. The next step will be okay. If you like hanging out with me, how about we go see a movie together next week Friday? If she says yes, she don't commit. So committing, small, small, small. Big commitment at the end is, will you marry me? She say yes. You know, go carry her, keep her for house. So that is commitment. Getting somebody to take the next step. So I told him that this is also a module that we'll have to pay attention to, because there are lots of Nigerian business owners, lots of Nigerian salespeople who don't do this well at all. If you don't believe me, think about it. Think about your staff, or think about yourself, or think about the last time you were with a tailor. You went to go and see a tailor, and you told the tailor that I want the dress to be ox blood, and I want it to be peplum, and I want it to be backless with halter top V-neck plunge. You tell the guy. The guy takes measurement, he measures everything, and then we say, oh, madam, your bill is 60K. And then he will just keep quiet. What did you do in that situation? In that situation, you, the madam who was talking to the tailor, what you most likely did was, in your head, you now started doing mathematics. 50K, 60K, can I afford it? Blah, 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 blah. And then you said what most Nigerians say, which is, let me think about it. And of course, the guy said, sure, no problem, madam, when you're ready. And then he will now carry the wrapper and then give it back to you. And then you took your wrapper and then you left. And then you ended up doing it with somebody else who told you that he could do it for you for 35K. And then in your mind, you say, oh, correct, I saved 15K. Abi? Is that 15 or 25? Sure, I saved some money. Lots of business owners in Nigeria do not know how to get people to commit or how to close the deal. As a tailor, or as a fashion seamstress, or whatever, seamster, Abi? Okay, seamstress is women. Men is what? Seamster, designer. As a seamster, or as a whatever, at that stage, I say, Madam, Yabi is 50K or 60K. You need to be able to ask questions to gain a commitment. I told you guys the first time that somebody pulled this kind of trick on me. Okay, well, the first time I noticed was to buy a battery. Then I must have been like around 18, maybe 20. I started driving Momsy's car in Lagos. And of course, the battery was flat. So I went to go and do battery. So the guy told me how much the B was. Then, as I was thinking in my head, the guy now said, Bros, where your motor? I said, that one. He now said, Chukudi, bring two. And I said, bring what? He said, no, your car be that. I said, now. He said, bring two. I said, relax now. Have we finished pricing? So you see how that Igbo guy was using tactic to get me to commit. I was in my head. I was thinking. I was lost in thought. And he knew that if I leave this boy will now say, let me think about it. And what he would do is, he would leave my shop, he would drive round to the back, he catch you under bridge, and he'll go and buy from somebody else. So he used a tactic to get me to commit. What he did was he used an assumptive clause. That is where you assume that the person wants to buy. And so he said, "Oh boy, where your motor?" And I said, "That one." He now said, "Chukudi, bring two." By the way, who buys two batteries? But he just assumed that I will buy, and he assumed that I can buy two. So that forced me out of my mind, and then we started pricing, and then we went away with one car battery. But you can see that he used assumptive closing techniques to get me to commit, no matter how small. Where is your car? You're getting somebody to commit. If the person says, "This is my car," oh, you're heading in the right direction. In fact, it must be an Igbo thing. Maybe Igbo traders, this is how they teach themselves. Because the last time that I changed the tires on my car complete, all four of them, was the same thing. The guy just assumed that we're going ahead. The guy said, "Is it back only or front and back?" There's some other people who will say, "Where's your car?" You say that Benz over there. They will now say, "Chukudi, bring four." But assumptive closing techniques. So I told this guy, we need to work on your commitment and control, how you close the deal. So these are the parts of the training that after the general session with people, while you and me are chatting in the DMs, we can start paying attention to this. But then I told him what I was trying to stress all along, that see, it depends on you. Because now we haven't started the training, but I'm already giving you value. I'm already telling you that prospecting list, man, we got started here. So I told him the rest is up to you. If I tell you prospecting list, give me 10, at the end of the day, you don't give me 10, what am I supposed to do? If I say give me 10, you only give me a list of 4, what am I supposed to do? You only gave me 4. I call you, I harass you, I message you. At the end of 2 weeks, you only give me 4. Well, we'll work with the 4. The thing that we see, whatever we see, we see. The one that we don't see, we don't see. But sha, it's up to you. And that's how I explained it to him. And when you're dealing with me, it's not by force. So please, anybody who reaches out, you take my phone number. Don't be playing all these silly games. We are mature people. I'm a sales professional. And you're a mature person. All you have to do is just tell me, I don't want to do. That's all. We're adults. Yeah? And so I told him, look, it's as simple as that. Take your time. As long as you decide before so and so time tonight, it's cool. We can still continue. But if you don't feel like it, just let me know. So I don't be chasing you up and down. It's not by force. So that's how we ended that conversation. And for those people who have gone ahead and paid, these are some of the things that we're going to achieve with this program that starts on the 19th of January 2026 to run until about the 31st. So, where was I? What was I even trying to say? Anyway, I guess the main thing that I was trying to say is there are lots of scammers out there and lots of fraudsters. So, shine your eye. It doesn't matter if you're talking to me or any other person. If at the end of the day you have a single doubt, don't drop the money. But if you're talking to me and you want to know what guarantees I can provide for you, there are no guarantees because it depends on you. My role is the doctor. I will tell you this is the medicine. If you don't take the medicine, it's up to you. So, yeah, so that's it, and that's all for today. This is almost 40 minutes, so let me bring it to a close. I'm looking forward to working with those of you who signed up for the training this year, starting on the 19th of January 2026. And I'm looking forward to being a part of your business growth and your personal growth and your success story for 2026. It is my goal that anybody who passes through me in the future, when they're hailing them as a big boy, as a big girl, I want to be a part of that success story. That they will say, there is this guy, Tavershima. He was responsible for this, or he opened up my eyes to that. I want to be a part of that person's success story. And I'll do my best to make sure that when 2026 is coming to a close, and we're looking forward to 2027, we'll have good things to celebrate. So, for those of you who are curious and reach out for other engagements, no wahala. I give my phone number at the beginning and at the end of every single episode. You can call, you can send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080 But always remember, there's no pressure. If you're nervous about something, let me know. We are mature individuals. We'll sit down and we'll discuss. But at the end of the day, any single doubt, please don't give me money at all. Don't give me 1 naira if there's a single doubt. And it's not by force. If you tell me I know they do, I won't follow up. I won't chase you again. I won't chase you again. So yeah, that's it. I'll catch you guys some other time.